let's see what we have in store for us. Let's switch over the scenes and welcome back everyone to game number 2 between PranPineapple and Azrael for the Australian Open. These guys battling it out in Division A. They're in Group 4 and finally getting around to playing their Round 1 games as well. Now, of course, Pran taking the last game against Azrael with the Britons War on Oasis, and now now Azrael has chosen for his home map. I don't even have to undo the Fog of War. I know exactly what's coming in here. He has chosen Arabia, which makes me extremely, extremely happy, and he's also chosen his civilization today for the Hun War. Oh, sorry. Oh, damn it. He's chosen Huns, and he has spawned up to the northern area of the map as well. His opponent down to the south playing in the red. Actually, are they actually playing red? No, they're playing in blue and green, but we're going to go for red and blue because I prefer team colors for casting anyway. Actually, you know what? Let's go. No, let's not. Let's do blue and red. The green still blends into trees and such. We have Pran playing in the red, and he has also chosen the Huns as his civilization of choice for this matchup. So it is a Hun war on Arabia for game 2, which makes me, again, very, very happy. Now let's have a look at Pran's map, and let's see if his map makes him as happy as the settings for this game make me. Now, he has his main gold. Very, very nice location for him. Very close to his town center. So if he does get pushed off this from any aggression coming in from Azrael, he will be able to hightail it back to his town centre nice and safely. Berry's out on the front as well, a little bit unfortunate for him, but again, very, very minimal distance, so he can get back to his town centre pretty simply and pretty safely as well. Stone and a secondary gold out on the front, as well as a wood line, potentially a nice location for a TC if the game goes into the Castle Age. TC would be obviously able to lock down the stone, the gold, and the wood for him, which would put him in a very nice position. He has decided to go for the wood at the back of his base, a little bit far away. I mean, this is going to be quite open, quite harassable from any scouts, archers, cav archers, any of those sorts of units that we often see from the Huns anyway. There's a deer patch here as well. He could lure in some of those deer and go for a really effective scout rush if he really wanted to. Unfortunately, has he butchered the wrong sheep? No, he hasn't butchered the wrong sheep. Of course, he hasn't. Bringing in his firstborn now as well. And I think his second born's out here, yeah, towards the left-hand side. Unfortunately, he hasn't quite found these two sheep. That's going to be quite difficult for him to find. I think I've gone over all of his resources, except for this last gold, which is out here toward the left-hand side of his base as well. Now, looking at Azrael's base, well, his one looks to be a little more compact and a little bit safer. He has a wood line towards the back of his base, which is, it's pretty close to the town center. So again, he can haul his ass back there if he really needs to. Berries towards the back as well. Gold just a little bit more forward, it's branching around to the front of his base, but again, very, very close as well. And hello, decoded. Hello, decoded in the chat. Stone out here towards the right hand side for Azrael as well. He does have a gold towards the front of his base, and it is sitting on the top of this plateau, on the top of this hill rather, which is going to be a key area of Azrael's economy. I can only imagine. What else has he got? He's got a stone towards the back of his base, or another stone rather as well. And what else can we say? Well, he's got wood lines towards, or surrounding his base as well, which means that he can put a wall off across here, for example. He can put a wall off across here, and that way he's going to only have to worry about aggression rather, coming in on this right hand side. Again, key area of his economy is going to be this front portion here where he does have a hill. Now, of course, if he takes control of this hill and doesn't lose it, then he should be in a good position, because obviously Pran wanting to push up into his economy, he's going to come uphill, which means that Azrael is going to have that lovely hill bonus against him as well. Now, both of these guys, I believe, have sent 3 villagers out to wood, so that's only indicative to me of a scout rush. Obviously, he's not going to have enough wood income to be going for for either of these players to be going for a drush. So I'm expecting scout rushes all round, and like I said, if Pran comes here and lures in these deer, as he might be going for, because he still has not found these 2 sheep. Very unfortunate for him. Let's see actually how close he has come to scouting those 2. Well, yeah, okay. He's not quite found them yet at all, but of course he can lure in these deer, and it'll put him in a nice position to be able to make up for those sheep, as well as giving himself enough food to do a nice effective scout rush. Now, does he have any sort of walling capabilities? Well, it doesn't actually look like it. Again, the front of his map extremely open, very difficult to wall. He can of course start putting down some buildings across this section here and maybe branch out to here, but on the left hand side, sorry, the right hand side rather, I suppose the same argument could be made. I mean, he could also do it out here as well. But, you know, both of these guys have pros and cons about their map. One of the cons about Pran's map is that he has a stubborn ass there that just does not want to go to the fucking town centre at all. And Jesus Christ, look at that. He's running away. Oh, for fuck. Whatever, you stupid animal. That would just infuriate me. Both of them grabbing loom now as well, and they'll be clicking up on 22 population with really nice uptimes as well. Now that only makes me wonder as well, does Mike actually, sorry, Azrael, is he going to send any more villagers over to Wood, or is he going to stick only on 7 villages? Obviously, it's not the standard for doing a scout rush, but for the time being, it should be enough. Pran, on the other hand, where is he going to go to split his lumber? Is he going to go forwards, or is he going to bring his lumber out here? Yeah, okay, so he's going to place both of his lumber camps down here to the south of his base. It's fair enough, because, I mean, it is one whole area that you can, for example, secure or lock down with one watchtower, one defensive tower. Unfortunately for him, if he succumbs to the pressure from Azrael, then he is going to find it very difficult, since all of his wood economy is located in one position. But again, both of these guys up on 22 pop. They're both going to be going for scouts, which is extremely exciting for me to see at the very least. Barracks being thrown down in this wee choke point here for Azrael, really nice location for him, and it will be interesting as well to see if he does go ahead and chuck up any buildings or any barracks, any palisades across the front, or rather the left-hand side of his base. What's the scouting like for both of these guys? Well, of course, Pran was pissing around trying to lure in a couple of deer, so he hasn't really done too much scouting of his opponent. He knows where his opponent is, and is he going to run into the town centre? No, he's running parallel to these resources, not running perpendicular to them, which means that he should be okay in terms of not running into the town centre of his opponent. Barracks having been placed up for Pran? Where the hell is his barracks? Oh, there it is. Barracks being placed up for Pran out on the left-hand side of his economy, and he should be good to be able to place down a stable, maybe even across here. Maybe that's what he's going to be going for. Or where is he placing it? No, he's going to place it up against the cliff, and he's maybe going to be wanting to arch across this sort of area of his economy here, or maybe the villagers were just there to put them down straight away. And yeah, we can see the walls coming up on the left-hand side here as well. And yeah, Pyro's right. Viking infantry, or Viking spears at least, have extra HP on their them. And Azrael getting a nice little bit of harassment in here, delaying the stable from Pran as he gets up his stable unhindered and uninterrupted back at home. So again, scout rushes coming in for both of these players. A good number of farms now being seeded as more villages had been moved over to wood. He still only has 9 villages on the wood, though. I suppose he has oversaturated his berries with 5 villages. So Azrael rather should be okay in that respect. Horse collar now coming in for Pran as well. Obviously, he is still missing 2 sheep, so his scout rush is going to be somewhat stinted and a little bit weaker as a virtue of that. He is going to get a few love taps in on this villager, and of course the villagers don't auto attack once they get into the feudal age. And now Pran getting the heck out of there as Azrael brings over a defensive spearman to deter his scouts. Now, does Pran know that his opponent's going scouts? Well, yes, he does, and he sees the scouts have been queued up now as well, and this could be super strong. There's a hole. Oh, no, he alerted his opponent to the hole, and let's see if Azrael did actually pay attention, and if his village is going to come over here and wall this up as well. Pardon me. But again, the scout rush for Pran is going to be somewhat stinted and a little bit slower. He has moved a lot of villages, and I mean a lot of villages, over onto the berries as well. 2 scouts having come out and a 3rd on the way. I suppose he is supplementing his food income with this deer, but again, these 2 sheep did hurt him quite a bit. At least his early game in the feudal age at least. But for the time being, he is playing defensive. He doesn't have any defensive spearmen out from what I can see, and he's not bothering queuing any up as well for the time being. He's just playing defensive with the scouts, making sure that he can get out a good number of military such that he can defend and also attack. Mike, on the other hand, is also going for the same sort of way. If we switch over to his point of view, we can see he's got five scouts having been queued up, plus his initial one makes for a total of 6 and 2 defensive spearmen. Wait, hang on, 6? Can I not count? No, that's 6, and then, oh, is that the same spearman? Oh, it's the same spearman, never mind, totally fine. As he moves out to gold now as well. Good number of farms, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 farms, not the stock standard 13 that you would normally have for a scout rush where you go more than 3 additional scouts. but still a good number of farms having been seeded for him, and now moving over onto the gold such that he can start that archer transition as well. Or maybe he wants to go for an early bloodlines, but I don't think that'll be on the offing, or in the offing rather, as again he doesn't quite have the number of farms to support an early bloodlines at all. Whereas Pran, you can see a much a much larger amount of farms as he has now moved out to gold as well. Not exactly at the 13-minute mark that you'd normally see for just a minimal amount of scouts, but nevertheless they're both starting to push out now as well, and Azrael recognizing the importance of this little area here, but again, really nice micro from Pran as he pulls four scouts just needlessly chasing one of Pran's scouts, and Pran gets a free scout pick, and then he will get another one here as well, and just like that, the momentum has started to swing back or into the favor here of our red player Pran. He doesn't want to take unnecessary damage from the spearman though. A really nice amount of scout micro, one scout finally going down for Pran, and he decides that, hey, I've done enough damage, I've done enough, I'm going to get out of here as well. Red has a bad map. Yep, Red does have a bad map. It's very, very open, which means that he'd probably want to be playing quite aggressively. Unfortunately for him, his opponent, Azrael, is going ahead and walling up pretty much everything. He patched this hole from what I could see back at home. And it just makes it a little bit more difficult for Pran to be able to push out and do the damage that he needs to do. He's going to be playing defensively for quite a long time as he throws up an archery range here towards the left-hand side of his economy as well, and grabs Wheelbarrow in quite a nice at a sorry, tongue-tied, at quite a nice time as well. Again, a good number of farms, good number of scouts up here for Pran, and he can throw down another archery range. A lot of wood. Azrael is floating a lot of wood right now. I don't understand why he isn't throwing down any archery ranges. I'm just zooming around the map to see if he is, forwarding or any funny business like that. But no, he's got a good amount of wood, but still no archery ranges. In fact, is that one? No, that's a blacksmith. Is he just going to forego archers and just go straight into the castle age and try and go for 2 stable knights onto his opponent? That could be. It could be interesting. It could be interesting. Obviously, he's walled up, so Pran's not going to be able to get into his base to get the scouting info that he needs. But as soon as he starts upgrading his scouts, getting +1 and such, then Pran's going to be able to click on it and know exactly what's coming. Anyway, we can see here that this is not a fight that Azrael is going to want to be taking. He's definitely outmassed. And of course, with the defender's advantage acting in favour here for Pran as well, means that he will be able to take this fight very easily. And I think Azrael recognising that and getting the hell out of the way, because he doesn't want to lose any of these scouts unnecessarily. But you can see a good number of them have some damage done as well. With blue walling, what Red should do to win this map with such an What should Red do to win this with such an open map? Well, if your opponent goes ahead and walls, oh, okay, he is going for archers. If your opponent walls and what he does, oh, this could be a tree hop again. No, not anymore. Azrael's learnt from the previous game. So yeah, like I was trying to say, but I keep getting distracted, is if your opponent walls, then what he's doing is he's letting you take map control. Now, of course, he's only got palisade walls, so okay. In this case here, all Pran has to do is he just has to get to the castle age as quickly as he can, because again, he was fighting the scouts from his opponent just before, and he was able to click on them, and he was saying, hey, there's no bloodlines, there's no +1 attack or defense having been done on these guys, so I know that he's not going to be going for full scouts. I know he's probably not going to be going for knights either, because if he was walling and going for a fast castle off the back or behind his walls, then he would have been getting those upgrades straight away. So now what Pran needs to do is, because again, he can't hit his opponent's economy, as we're seeing exactly here, then what Pran needs to do is just stop scout production and get himself up to the castle age as quickly as he possibly can. I keep calling him Mike because he's in the Mike clan, so it's Mike Azrael. You can see down here, and I always just see that in the corner of my eye, and it's fucking annoying. So yeah, again, we can see that Azrael's up to the castle age here first as well. And he's got the scouting information Pran does, so he knows that his opponent is going to be going Cav Arch in the castle age. So all he has to do now, again, just stop the scout production, stop military production, just get up to the castle age as quickly as you can. And of course, a good number of archers and a few skirmishers here and there as well will be able to deter the initial Cav Archers that Azrael is going to be putting out as soon as he gets into the castle age. Especially with padded archer armor coming in for him now as well. I can't remember if fletching was done for Azrael. Yeah, fletching's done for Azrael. I don't know if padded archer armor is. We'll have to wait and see. But of course, he should be able to be in a good spot. Of course, he does have to play aggressive because of his map. But now, for the time being, it's just survive, survive, survive until you get into the castle age. Because he knows his opponent is going for a faster castle as he is safe behind his walls. And we can see now that the castle age has been upgraded for Azrael, and the Cav archers are now starting to come out as well. But of course, by the time Pran gets up to the castle age and gets the crossbowman upgrade and his Cav archers out of his own, then the defender's advantage means he's going to be in an okay spot to be able to defend himself. So he'll be totally fine. You can see he's walled up towards the back of his base as well, which means he's going to keep himself nice and safe. And he's got this nice building wall off across the front of his base, kind of funneling towards the town centre, so if Cav archers want to start running around here into the wood line, then he is going to take some unnecessary damage from the town centre fire. Of course, he could come around here, Azrael could, and just start punching a hole in these walls, since he has Bodkin Arrow and Bloodlines coming in for him now as well. And obviously these palisade walls do not don't really stand up to too much from Cav archer fire. But enough of that. There are no full scouts here, unfortunately, and Let's Improve thinking that Cav archers are a wee bit boring. And based on the games that I saw from Let's Improve against Clockwork, I can tell that he's not really a meta lover as of late, which made me look like a right knob when I was trying to cast his games, because I think the main thing that I was saying was, what the fuck is he doing? What is he doing? What the hell is this? I'm so confused. I don't know what he's doing. So it was quite interesting for me to try and cast those games. But in saying that, let's get back to this game and cast it, because I know exactly what's going on. Because Pran's getting crossbow, bodkin arrow, and bowsaw as well. Who's Let's Improve? No, Let's Improve is the guy in the chat. Literally just above you, Johnny. Yes, Alex, I did cast them, and like I said, it was very confusing for me, but quite fun at the same time. And now Pran just keeping his opponent's Cav archers locked up inside of his base by virtue of just being a fucking nuisance with these scouts running around and roaming around outside as well. He can take down this spearman. Pran doesn't have to run away from the spearman, but he is going to do it anyway just to prove that he can. And again, I don't think Bloodlines has actually been researched for the time being. No Bloodlines here for Pran at the moment, but the crossbows and the skirmishes are now moving out as well. No, sorry. No, Let's Improve is the guy in the chat. I casted his games the other day against Clockwork, and they were just fucking weird. But again, a bad patrol here from from Azrael rather. He's losing a lot of Cav archers unnecessarily, and Pran recognizing that as well, and typing "dadgom" into the chat. And again, did Pran lose anything there? I don't think Pran lost anything there, but 3 Cav archers going down from Azrael for absolutely nothing. And can we see anything else happening? Well, no, we can't. And again, crossbows pack a decent punch against Cav archers, even though the Cav archers have +1 and bloodlines on them for the time being. Light Cav worth it for this amount of scouts? I guess. I mean, honestly, I'm not the best person to ask that, because my my game knowledge in terms of upgrading light cav is not that great. I would tentatively say yes, just to do a bit of extra raiding, and I mean, you will be using those upgrades later in the game anyway. But for the time being, Pran is putting a lot of pressure in here as well. Ask Robo or Let's Improve; they'll have the answer most probably. But Pran is doing a lot of damage in here. He's going to lose a good chunk of his crossbows, but he has taken a good number of villages down here on this TC. Being built as well. Whereas back at home, Pran has also gone ahead and chucked up another TC out here on his gold, and of course, also out here towards the back on his wood. Now, of course, there are usually 2 main ways that you can play Hun Wars on Arabia, and that is, once you get into the castle age, you can either chuck down town centers and focus a little more on your economy, or you can chuck down at a university and go for an early ballistics. Now, of course, it doesn't look like Azrael really wants to be that aggressive. Obviously, he did lose a good chunk of his army with the bad patrol coming out of his base. So he's wanting to sit back. He's wanting to play a little more defensively, and that's just attributable to the fact that he has gone ahead and thrown up an extra TC. I would say if they're going CA or Expo, do, but if they're going Knights, then don't. There you go. There's your answer. Thank you very much, Alex. But yeah, like I was saying, Pran definitely, it makes total sense for him to be able to go to chuck up some TCs just by virtue of how open and really easily harassable his map is. And of course, he's come forward now with the Forward Siege Workshop, and like I said, this area out of the front of Azrael's economy was always going to be super important for him to be able to lock down and take control of. Like, yeah, it was always going to be really a really key area of Azrael's economy with this hill. He's going to zone off. He's got one of his golds now having been zoned off. This stable looks like it's going to go down as well, so any knight's not going to be able to come out unless he rebuilds the stable. And obviously defensive siege workshop having been thrown up for Azrael as well, but firing uphill against the mangonels from Pran here is not going to go well for him at all. And a good number of cav archers with bloodlines and +1 defense have also have also been researched here for Pran. Now, is Pran paying attention, or are we going to see a big bubba boom on these crossbows? Well, it looks like we're going to see a nice mangonel shot there from from Azrael rather, on these expos. And again, this mangonel just having to get the heck out of town because the hill bonus here from the expos, the mangonel, and the cav archers from Pran easily going to be able to take down this mangonel without too much issue. And Pran is just playing a fantastic game, going nice and aggressive with his units, taking decent fights. But in saying that, are we going to see a big shot here? Yes, we are. But just like I said, that hill bonus, meaning this mangonel here from Pran, easily able to tank one of those a mangonel shot uphill. Elite Skirmisher having been upgraded now as well for Azrael, just looking to get some more sort of a defense into his army here. Has he thrown up an extra TC towards the back? Well, no, he has not. He has not done that at all. 3 TC still up and running. I can only imagine for Pran, if we quickly cycle through his TCs, we can see that they are more or less running 55 villages to 45 as well, and a couple of mangonels firing upon this archery range on top of the hill means this range is going to go down quick smart. These skirmishers are not going to be able to stand up to 2 mangonel shots either. This TC is going to come under fire very soon, and then these cav archers can just run rampant inside of Azrael's economy. Not that he really has too much of an economy to speak of for the time being. He does have scouts and cav archers doing nothing out on the right hand side of the base. Of the map rather, but again, all the action is focused, all the action is congregated at the front of Azrael's base, and he gets a nice mangonel shot there as well, finally picking off. Oh, he's going to get 2 mangonels for 1. Super strong trade there from Azrael. Unfortunately, he does get his mangonel taken down, and like I said, this hill, and I think G-Man as well mentioning it in the chat, this hill is really painful and really nasty for Azrael. He needed to play a bit more aggressively and try and take control of this bad boy if he could. For example, a TC out here, if he had map control at the time, would have been fantastic to do. But of course now Pran has all the advantages, military, military, positional, and villager lead, all in favour for him at the moment. University being thrown up now as well. For Azrael, obviously looking to get that ballistics upgrade, but I mean, I don't know if I agree with that, to be honest, because that's a big investment for the time being, and you know, you need those resources to be sunk into siege into mangonels to be able to defend this pressure. And of course, it's looking really hard for Azrael to be able to break this. He just has to get some nice mangonel shots and to be able to really clear up this army that's outside of his base. But of course, with the mangonels being reinforced so closely from the forward siege workshop of Pran, then the defender's advantage not really going to be coming into play. But here we go, Azrael now moving in, sniping down one mangonel. He's going to snipe down the second one. Is he going to get it? Pran does not get the shot, but it will be 2 mangonels down, and now Azrael maybe looking like he could stabilize this. He needs to get more elite skirmishers in here to soak up some of the arrow fire and really do the damage against these archer units from Pran. Of course, Pran just going to retreat back to what I believe is higher ground. And he's going to take this fight conclusively, very easily. Again, these crossbows doing a decent amount of damage against these cav archers. Let the hill abuse begin. Let the hill abuse begin. Indeed, ballistics now coming in for Pran as well. I missed the fact that he had a university up at home, but a university up at home he does have indeed as a 4th archery range. Well, you know, it would be the 5th, but one of them got taken down. Gets thrown up inside of Azrael's base, but Azrael recognizing that the game is too far gone, as he has thrown up a TC to the left-hand side of his economy as well. And Pran, ever the gentleman, ever the kind man that he is, chucking a wee smiley face in here, and Azrael recognizing that this hill was a very key area of his economy, and unfortunately he didn't gain control of it, and Pran used it to his advantage and leveraged himself the 2nd win in this best of 5 series between himself and Azrael. So what we'll do, as always guys, we'll change the score and we'll switch the scene back over, and I'll see you guys in just a moment's time for game number 3.